Alright, so today's movie review is The Pirate from 1948, starring Judy Garland and Gene Kelly. Now, let me show you the criticalist description. A girl's engaged to a local rich man, but meanwhile, she dreams about the legendary pirate Makoko, a traveling singer who falls in love with her and tries to impress her and poses as a pirate. Alright, so let me show you my thoughts on the plot. The plot, I gave it a 2 out of 5. Look, I thought that the look of this movie, the design of it, was really intriguing. I liked some of the songs. The plot is definitely on the back burner, and I was really bored with it. I'm sorry. I really wanted to like this and really enjoy it, but I was really bored out of my mind. Um, I don't know if it was the acting, people were miscast. I don't know. Um, musical. I like musicals. I have nothing against them, but for some reason, this one, it just felt a little too saccharine, if that makes sense. A little too cheesy, a little too whatever. Maybe I'm just not the biggest fan of Vincent Minnelli, although I'm pretty sure he did Meet Me in St. Louis, and I liked that film. So I think it's just this one in general. I don't. Maybe it just wasn't right. You know, the music or the storyline. I'm not sure. Um, and the ending was a little ridiculous with uh, Gene Kelly's character. You know, he's about to be executed. He's like, "Wait, my lord, let me play you a song." And I don't know. It just felt a little too cheesy for me. That's why I gave the plot a 2 out of 5. All right, let's move on to the acting. The acting, I gave it a 3. It was just all right. Um, I'll be honest. I think Judy Garland. Uh, I think her best role is really The Wizard of Oz or Meet Me Down in St. Louis. I don't know. I just didn't really like her here. Um, Gene Kelly was fine. He's always funny. He's always got, interesting. Uh, he's an interesting actor for sure. I don't know. Maybe these guys just were miscast to me. I just wasn't feeling it with them. Um, I can't remember who the actor was, but I liked the judge actor near the end of the film, and I liked some of the other ones. Maybe it was that they weren't really speaking in like a more pirate type of speaking, or more so of the era. It felt more modern. Maybe that's what it was, but that's why I gave the acting a 3 out of 5. All right, the set design. Look, I'll be honest. I gave it a 4. I thought it looked really good. I was very impressed with the stages and with the colors and the costumes. That I think is the highlight of the movie. Is it looks incredible. It is definitely well choreographed and well put together. And I'm glad we got to see a bit more of Gene Kelly's abilities. His dancing and singing and all of that. He was really good at that. So that's why I gave it a 4 out of 5. All right, cinematography, another 4. Like I said, it looks incredible. Some great close-ups. I wish I had the full scene here, but there's kind of a famous, maybe TikTok or reel or whatever, where Gene Kelly, he's got a cigarette in his mouth, right? He's kissing a woman. Then he puts the cigarette in his mouth, kisses the woman, then puts it back out and starts smoking it again. It's kind of wild that he did that. Very vaudevillian for sure. So that's a very intriguing scene. Um, like I said, it looks amazing. The costumes and the color and all that. Technicolor is incredible. I wish there was more of it, and I wish we could recreate it today, because supposedly we've lost the ability and the technology to recreate the magic of Technicolor. So anyways, that's why I give the cinematography a 4 out of 5. All right, the music. I thought it was pretty bland. 3 out of 5. Nothing memorable for me with it. I thought it was just okay. I wasn't a big fan of it. I think the singers have much better songs in other films. Um, Gene Kelly singing in the rain, and Judy Garland with Wizard of Oz and Meet Me in St. Louis. Those songs in those 3 films are much more memorable, much more intriguing. These just fell flat. I didn't think they worked for me. 3 out of 5. Okay, so that makes my score a 3.2 out of 5, which is a 64%. So now let me break down my critical score. Graphic language, none. Violence, there's some mild fighting, but it's very, very tame, very choreographed, almost like a dance. Um, so very, very tame. Nudity, sexual content. There's some scantily clad women, typical of this pirate era, but nothing crazy. Political bias, none. Family friendly, very much so. I think if you have kids, they'll love the zaniness of it. They'll love the colorful costumes and all that. I think they'll like it. I don't think boys will like it as much though, because it is a musical. That's usually a hard sell for boys, at least for me. That was always a hard sell. I love like Disney and whatnot, but um, yeah, but I think so. And entertainment value, it's pretty entertaining. Music's all right. Costumes are great, but that's about it. So overall, would I recommend this movie? No, it's pretty mediocre. I think all of the cast have been in better films, and I think Vincent Minnelli has done better films too. I'm pretty sure he did Meet Me in St. Louis. That's a much much better film than this one. So, yep, those are my thoughts overall on The Pirate from 1948, and that concludes today's movie review.